Hi, I'm Declan,
And I'm Paulina.
and we're here with UIC Radio, here interviewing one of the bands competing in Battle of the Bands. First off, what are your guys' names?
All right, I'm Daniel, and I'm the drummer for our band Apyrous.
My name's Adrian, I'm the lead singer.
My name is Ricky. I play bass.
My name is Carlos, and I play lead guitar.
My name is Brian. I play rhythm.
My name's Saul. I'm the videographer / manager.
So yeah, and like, what is your overall band name?
I'll take 2.
Apyrous!
Yes.
That was super sick.
That was good. That's good. That's good.
How'd you guys come up with that name?
The real story or the fake story?
Whichever one you want to give.
I'll say the
You are
real story.
legally allowed to share.
Alright, so I was at work about a year ago. And, on the bottom right.
Maybe tell the fake story.
I'm going to say the real story. I already said it. On the bottom right, you could click on those fake newses. And it was like top 10 Latin words that people don't use anymore. And one of the words was Apyrous, so I just picked it because it sounded the coolest.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it is.
Do you know what it means, or?
I think it means like inflammable.
That's,
So it kind of fits.
It
that's
does.
kind of cool, actually. So like, what kind of music do you guys make overall? Like, what if it's like a genre or something?
I think you're the best at
I think
Okay.
Brian should answer this.
All right.
What?
No, you go. No, Brian, you start, and I'll add on
Oh
to it.
man,
if we need
dude!
to.
Every time we get asked something like this, I'm like, I never know what to say, and so I would say we have many like influences, but mostly like alt rock
Yeah.
or
Alt indie rock.
yeah.
Yeah, like everything from the Beatles to the Strokes to like Alice in Chains kind of comes through from like soft, heavy, kind of standard, more just like rhythm and like lick-driven rock. There's a lot that goes into it. So yeah, I would say alternative indie rock.
It's just like such a broad genre that like I
Yeah.
feel bad for saying it, but it's just like
That's what it is.
Yeah.
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 it's what it is.
So you guys already went over like your instruments, but could you each tell us like why you started playing that instrument? Like what went behind it?
Let's see. I was like in like elementary school. I would be like the desk tapper constantly, and one of my classmates, he asked me like if I played the drums because they had a drum set at his house, and he asked me to come over and play. Like I didn't know what I was doing. I was just kind of like smacking them, which was fun. But I finally got my own drum set because I was just constantly begging my parents, please let me play the drums, please, please, please. They finally conceded and got me like the worst drum set you've ever heard in your life, but it was good for me. And I was really into the Beatles and like System of a Down and like other like weird mix. So I just learned to play by listening to my favorite songs, and then just like over the course of like 3 or 4 years, finally getting to the point where I was like decent enough. And then my brother played guitar, so we'd play together. So it's just a consistent but also like slow rise to just playing as often as I could. And then yeah, meeting these guys, it's like my first time in like a band, so it's really helped me elevate and my passion for playing. So yeah.
I think I chose singing because I've always sang in the car. And it's the only thing that kept my mind occupied. I cannot hear a song and know the lyrics and not sing along. So I think that's why it was just the easiest to choose. Like I know a little bit of guitar, but Brian and Carlos are, I'd say, better than me, so I just leave it to them. And then I just like singing. It's fun. It keeps my mind occupied out of all like instruments.
And he's got the voice of an angel.
Oh.
Oh, he's hyping me up over here. I gotta perform now.
Hey, we'll see April 30th, Wednesday.
Come listen to this guy.
Find out if we're lying or not.
Well, I play bass, and the real story of why I picked up bass is because I was second player in Guitar Hero, and you had to play bass. So I don't know. It worked though. It worked.
Humble
I like.
origins.
Yeah, no. So then like I got really used to just like listening to the bass tracks of like all these popular songs on all the Guitar Hero games. So I just picked up the bass.
And Steve Lacy had an influence.
Okay, yeah, and Steve Lacy, I watched the TED Talk, and he said that he made all his music on his iPhone, and I had a guitar, and an iRig, and an iPad, and all I was missing was a bass. So I picked up the bass, and I basically forced myself to learn it so that I can be like Steve Lacy.
You guys are actually the second band that has cited Steve Lacy
you
as like an
serious?
influence to starting music. Yeah, same thing like starting on GarageBand and
That's
that
awesome.
kind of DIY
Yeah.
That's so sick.
ethos.
I love that. I love when people can make music with whatever materials they have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I picked up guitar like in middle school. We had like a we had like a Christmas program, so everybody had to like choose an instrument. So I chose guitar, and I just wasn't learning at school, so I took it home and just started learning like all the Nirvana songs on a pink guitar that was my sister's, and I was like, yeah, I think I'm just gonna take it from you because she wasn't using it anymore. But just after that, I learned some Guns N' Roses songs. I really like lead guitar, so that's how I got
I taught him how to play. I did, but then he surpassed me.
Yeah, I started in like high school. Coincidentally, Carlos was the one who was like I think we had just met, and he was like, "Do you play any instruments?" Because he didn't want to join the music club alone. So I was like, "I guess I'll join," and I started learning like a rhythm guitar there, and then I mean, we were just learning basic chords and stuff, and so I took it home and the same thing. I started like learning songs I wanted to learn, or started making my own music, and that's how I mostly learned, and decided to stick with that.
Okay, very cool. So overall, how did you guys meet? Because there's so many of you. So how did you guys end up becoming a band? Like, how did y'all meet?
Start with you three.
Yeah. Well, us three met in high school. I met Carlos in middle school. Well, I've been since kindergarten. I met him.
kindergarten.
And then ever since then, we played in music because it was a Catholic school. So we had like the church things, you know, like the signs of the cross. If you ever went to Catholic school, you know, signs of the cross.
Like
We would
the
play there.
The church
Yeah,
band.
the band in the back. We would play together. And then we met Brian. We were in music club, us three, in high school. But then they continued. I kind of just fell off. And then they started their first like duo together.
We would just make music like after school, and it was just dumb music, like we were making fun of our teachers or some stuff like that.
It's like very like humble emo songs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 It was goofy stuff, but yeah.
And then I met these guys. Well, I guess me and Ricky both met them at the same time.
We met everyone.
Yeah. So we're in the art school. Me and Ricky are in the art education program. And in one of our film classes, a friend of ours, they were shooting a short film. And they had Brian, director of photography for the scene that it was. And it was supposed to feature a band. And then Brian asked his two delightful friends to also be in the scene with them, playing the guitarist and the two guitarists, Ricky playing the bass and then me playing the drums. So it was like a kind of that's like out of a movie, honestly.
Yeah.
Like we like met each other and kind of like became a band from playing a band in a short film.
We were actors as a fake band,
Yeah.
and that led
You're
to
a
us
vampire.
becoming
And
a
then
real
you're like,
band.
wait, we sound good.
And on top of that, we were all dressed as vampires in the movie. So we were like a
Yeah.
band with just like vampire makeup
Yeah.
on. We had like blood dripping from our mouths.
Yeah.
It looked like a movie. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was crazy.
It was a movie.
It's a short scene, kind of like a blink and you miss it like scene where it just kind of like passes by us. But yeah, there we are. And I remember Adrian kept playing like chords to their songs, or like also playing Beatles songs. I'm like, hey, I know that song. That's cool. Like, you playing that? Yeah. And then afterwards, I'm like, are you guys like a band? They're like, oh yeah, but we need a drummer. I'm like, oh well, hey, I'm a drummer. And so yeah, I asked to kind of come play, and then from then on, I was playing with you guys, and then you joined a little bit later.
Yeah, I did a little after.
Yeah, but yeah, that was a really cool kind of fun origin story there.
Yeah, shout out Billy.
Yeah,
It was
Billy
making that
Tucker.
film.
Yeah, UIC legend.
Yeah.
Anyways.
We already touched on it a little bit earlier with the inspiration from like Steve Lacy to pick up music, but who are some of your guys' like artistic influences, like, or artists that you look up to and like aspire to be like? You know what I mean?
Oasis, for sure.
Yeah,
Oasis.
Mr. Oasis,
I love
right
Oasis.
here.
Yeah, I even got the haircut. But them for sure. All the influences that my dad gave me. Them, a lot of Spanish rock bands like Soda Stereo, Caifanes. I love those. I always play them. I think I overdo it when when we're together and I play it way too much.
I love that stuff.
But I love the influences from them. I think that's where we get it. Or I get it.
Okay, so if you want to answer, go.
Real quick, I think for me it would be like the Beatles. Like once you start learning like their chord structures,
Yeah.
it was really funny how I think the chords were kind of more in tune of like they would figure out a harmony or like a melody and then just put the chords to that. And I think that's something that I love doing. Like I figure out like a melody first. I'm like, okay, let's put the chords to it. And then that just opens up a world to like you can put really weird chords in there. But as long as the melody fits, it works out.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's a great influence for me.
Beatles, I think, is like one of the most shared like influences, I would say. But there, yeah, like we mentioned earlier, there's tons of artists that go into it.
That's really cool, like that you guys share that, and especially since you
Yeah.
make such different music, like as you were describing, kind of alt rock. Like, how do you get from the Beatles to like alt rock?
Right.
The harmonies that we do are like the biggest kind of like throughway into that. A lot of 3-part harmonies or kind of like duet kind of stuff that happens. If you guys have any more like insight on that?
It also depends, I think, who wrote the song. 'Cause
yeah.
I think for this the songs that we have, about 11, the ones that have really wrote it or started or brought it to all of us was us three. So it really, you can really see
I don't
the
write
influence.
songs. Yeah, no, that's you.
Yeah, like us three.
You're
So
like,
you
"I
can really
just
see.
hit 6."
Yeah, you can see the influence of who wrote that song and like the personal influences.
Mhm.
So I think it varies.
Nice. So for each of you, like, who do you guys usually listen to, like, just individually? Like, what are your favorite bands?
Start this one.
I don't know at all.
Yeah.
I feel like I listen to like a lot of stuff, and I guess I'm not like super like, oh, this is my favorite band. I guess a band I've been listening to a lot recently. I guess a lot more recently. It's Condor 44. I like their stuff. That's all I can think about right now because that's all I've been listening to. Bickle. That's a guy, like a DJ guy.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like in a huge Beatles phase right now, and I
Have
just
been my whole life.
yeah,
Always good to bring that back.
yeah, like, I just can't get out of it. But other than that, I think like Arctic Monkeys are awesome.
That was a really good,
I mean,
yeah.
that's also like alternative rock. That's kind of what we were. I mean, at first I was striving for that kind of sound, but it really is just a mix of everything. I mean, Pink Floyd, all those heavy rotation.
Hell yeah.
All those bands.
If I had to choose my like all-time favorite band, it would probably be Red Hot Chili Peppers.
That's a classic.
Yeah, and I love that. Like, I feel like those songs are so bass heavy, and I mean,
They
like maybe
are.
that influenced me too. I don't know. But,
It's a secret influence. You just
Yeah.
don't know that.
I think mine is Sola from Argentina. But if you haven't heard them, I think you should give them a shout. They're really good. They're my favorite. I think I have them on rotate every day.
Yeah, I'd say me and Carlos share a lot of like people we listen to day to day. A lot of Beatles, Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin. I've also been getting more into the Deftones recently because of these
Same.
fellas, which has been really fun. But I think the band that I listen to the most, and these guys can attest to that, is King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
Yes.
You know, like, depending who you ask, like, you know, kind of goofy name, but, like, I genuinely think of the last 15 years, in my humble opinion, like, one of the best rock bands, and, like, whether they know it or like it or not, like, the way I play drums is very often inspired by, like, oh, I just heard this King Gizzard song, I'm going to try that out. So, yeah.
Fun.
That's awesome. If you guys had to pick one album to describe your 2025 so far, what would it be?
I think.
The hard-hitting question.
that
The
is-
very hard
This is- hey.
question. This catches all everyone that we've talked to so far.
I don't know any albums.
Or
It's
it
an
could
album.
be. It could be a song.
The Beatles must have one.
Yeah, no, that was where my mind went kind of immediately. I think I'd go with Abbey Road. It's kind of a cliche answer, but like that album has a lot of ups and downs. Like a lot of very like high highs, happy moments, but also gets into like some like darker and like a little bit more like stressed out sounds too. And like the whole back half of the album is a medley that like doesn't really stop, and like student teaching right now and like getting ready to graduate has felt like just one really long song that is like really enjoyable, but like all right, ready to close out the album of this experience for now and have a little bit of a break. So yeah, that's what I would say.
I would say the album Help.
Yeah.
Because of the name?
Yeah, no further comment on that.
Okay.
I think definitely Maybe for me, the first Oasis album. That song is really like, it came out in the mid 90s especially when that grunge era. But over there on the other side in Britain, it was like they were rebelling against what grunge was all about. So they were a little on the happier side, and I feel that way now that this is my last semester. So it's kind of like it's whatever. I just gotta roll with it.
I'll pass.
That's fine.
I would say, I mean, I have been listening to this album for a long time, so maybe it's not completely 2025, but it's called Scrapyard by Quedeca. It's a mishmash of like songs that were supposed to be on a previous album but didn't like make it. That's how my 25 spelled my 2025 as well. So
Have you heard the new single, bro?
it's really good. I can't wait for that new
Sorry,
album.
I hate to get on
No, you're
Off
good.
topic.
Godstained, really good, really good. Blew my expectations out of the water. Yeah.
All right. So, kind of going back to the whole Battle of the Bands thing, why did you guys decide to compete in Battle of the Bands this year?
Sure. Yeah, I can answer that. I feel like we kind of formed a band to compete here. I'm not gonna lie. These guys knew about it. You went last year.
I went
You were
to
in the
watch.
crowd.
I wasn't performing.
Yeah.
Oh, you were performing. No, you were there in the crowd.
I was watching.
Yeah. But I mean, they couldn't perform because the band was just not complete yet. We were missing the drummer. They got the drummer.
A bass player.
After Battle of the Bands ended already, and then they were just like looking for a bass player. So now we connected all the puzzle pieces. So like we're just like, well,
I like that.
next step we compete in Battle of the Bands. So we've been waiting for this. So yeah, that's why we're competing.
And we're all either current or former UIC
Yeah, that's
students,
true, too.
which is pretty awesome. Not sure how common that is in this year's lineup or not, but it's cool, especially because we all formed met and like that kind of seed was planted here, like literally on campus, in such an organic way. It's definitely like a full circle. Like a year later, like let's do this kind of thing.
It's also just a nice opportunity to go play
Yeah.
because we played yesterday,
Mm.
and then that was literally the first time that we played in front of such a big group or bunch of friends and family
Yeah.
that went to that bar. And
Full
then
length show.
this one is the next one, so
Fun.
So cool. What would it mean to you guys to win?
it'll be dope.
I think it's like just a really cool send off.
Yeah.
I mean, Daniel already mentioned we're all either current or former UIC students. So the ones of us that are current students, it's our last semester.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, wow, like we worked so hard to like form this band. We've been practicing so hard, and we got one shot. So like we're gonna give it our all. So it means a lot if we were able to win.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, definitely. And just to be like, the semester will have ended for us. We'll be like 10 days from graduation. So it's like, it really is like that last kind of final send off. And we're just grateful for the opportunity to be able to do this.
All right. So, like, if you guys do win, we orchestrate either like a tiny desk concert or a music video. So, what would you guys all prefer if you were to win? A music video or a
We
tiny
haven't
desk
discussed
concert?
this, have
Can
we?
you sneak the drums in the tiny desk?
No, we would have to do it drumless.
Oh.
Right?
I could play the bongos or something like that.
We could get a cajon in here.
Yeah, no, I'll play that. That's
There you
fine.
go.
A boosted
Tom-
board.
A lot of
maybe.
these songs were like they wrote them acoustically, so like if it had to be a more acoustic thing, like I'm not against that at all. A music video would be fun too. That's a great question.
Bring back the vampires.
Yeah,
You guys don't
that'd
need to
be
answer
fun.
now.
We
You
got a
guys
song
don't
called
need to
Ghost.
answer.
We
I guess we could
do,
get
yeah. We
for
could
that one.
throw in the horror imagery in there. It'd be fun.
I think a music video would be cool.
Yeah.
It would be.
Yeah.
We actually already made one, so it'd be a great experience. to
Dropping
actually-
soon.
Yeah.
Songs are getting.
Where could we find that one?
It's
Yeah.
Snap it.
follow us on Instagram.
Apyrous band.
Yes, APYROUSBAND. Spell it again. APYROUSBAND.
You're
Yes.
perfect for education.
Perfect.
Yes.
Yeah.
You gotta spell it out.
He's
You
already
gotta
had to
repeat
practice.
yourself.
Teaching the audience. We got one final question for you guys. It's a silly one, but if your band was an animal, which one would it be?
The demon?
That's not an animal.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Oh gosh.
I say duck. Anyone agree?
No.
I don't think I.
It's gotta be calm.
We had like a mock interview with Saul, and he
Our
asked
manager?
this question. Yeah, our manager Saul, and I said cat because some of most of these songs, like when I was writing them, it was like nighttime. So it's a very nocturnal like type of animal, and I just love cats as well. So I think it all goes hand in hand.
I agree. I'm a cat guy. I like dogs, but I'm a cat guy too. And he has 2 really cute cats. 3 cats. Oh yeah, that's right.
Going family.
Yeah. So I don't know what you guys think.
I mean, I love cats. I'm just slightly allergic. And well, I have a dog, and I love dogs too. I love cats and dogs. That's not an answer to the question.
I still think we're kind of a duck, but I'll go with cat.
Can I ask what influences that?
I don't know. You're just like silly and goofy. You're just little guys.
Yeah, that's silly goofy guy.
I think we're just silly little guys.
Okay, well, I think
Cut that
that's
out, cut
all for you guys.
We're cutting you off.
Sorry, guys.
I think it was when they mentioned the duck. I
Yeah,
was
it's like, and
We stopped recording.
Well, thank you guys for setting aside time to talk with us.
Thank
and
you.
Check out Apyrous and a bunch of other sick bands. April 30th. Battle
cool
of the Bands.
We got you.
5 to 8:30 on UH Lawn. Thank you guys so much.
for hosting
Thank
us.
you.
Guys.
Appreciate it. Much
All right.
love. UIC forever.
Thank you.